Hello everyone, how are you doing? Today we are talking about Anubis, the dog of Egypt. Anubis is, as you probably know, a god of Egyptian mythology associated with death, afterlife, tombs and more specifically embalming and mummification. Now Anubis is simply the Greekified form of his name, the original probably being closer to Anpu or Inpu, but I will call him Anubis for the remainder of this video. Anubis is often depicted with either the head of a jackal or in form of one entirely. He is said to be the child of Set and Nephthys or Osiris and Nephthys, depending who and when you ask the question. It is important to note that Anubis had a brother named Webwawet, who is depicted with a wolf's head instead of a jackal's, which is basically the same but in a different color. Anubis' wife is named Anput. If you paid close attention, you may notice that this is simply the female form of Anpu, so maybe they can also just be seen as male and female counterpart of the same deity. But that's highly speculative, so let's just keep her as Anubis' wife. Their child is the serpent goddess Kebechet. Anubis has been an important part of Egyptian mythology since the first dynasty, tracing his roots back to 3100 BCE, when he also took the role of a protector of some sort. Now, the worship of Anubis persisted basically in the entire ancient Egyptian timeline. Some of his functions were taken by Osiris sometime during the Middle Kingdom though. While I have listed all that Anubis is usually associated with, his primary role within the mythos is the role as his guide into the afterlife. And most importantly, he's the god of embalming, as he is often depicted during that very process. So he can be described more specifically of having the role of an embalmer and protector of graves and tombs. Anubis is an essential part in bringing the souls of the deceased before, well, the court of the dead basically, to participate in the weighing of the soul, him being the one who actually weighs it. If you are unfamiliar with this process of the weighing of the soul, feel free to check out my video about Amit. Anubis was an insanely popular god within his time, and there are many statues and monuments depicting him, and there were probably cults worshipping him, the main one being in Sinopolis in Upper Egypt. His popularity even transcended the borders of Egypt, being referred to by the Greeks as the dog of many names, and leading to a phrase that goes, "by the dog of Egypt," signaling that Anubis was quite famous not only in Egypt itself, even though this was of course the region he was mostly known for. Now I would love to tell you all the myths and stories and shenanigans this popular dog was involved in, but very surprisingly Anubis is part of barely any recovered piece of Egyptian mythos. While he does appear here and there, he very seldom takes center stage, and so there doesn't seem that much more to talk about in terms of Anubis. Sorry Anubis fans. Personally, I do believe that Anubis was so popular because basically everyone had relatives and loved ones who died, and since Anubis takes such a big role concerning graves, tombs and the rituals surrounding death, many people came in contact with the jackal-headed god. Then it could also be that everyone prepared to meet him one way or the other, since he will weigh their soul and guide them into the afterlife after they have died. Therefore, it could be that many people came into contact with Anubis one way or the other. But that's just my personal opinion. Another thing I would like to note is that I find it a little odd that Anubis is often depicted as this angry, growling beast, while he's actually far from being evil. He's mainly protective and is there so people honor the rituals surrounding death, and all in all acts more than a guide. Yes, he weighs your soul, but he's neither the executioner nor the judge, so I don't know why he's often depicted so ferocious. Anyway, let's just remember him as a good and beloved boy who assisted the souls transcending into the afterlife, and keep it at that. I hope I see you in the next video, for which you can always leave recommendations in the comments down below. May the gods be with you, and I hope I'll see you next time. Goodbye.